What's a non-sexual moment equivalent of an orgasm? Waking up and actually feeling rested. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes, guys. It's upsetting that I'm not sure I've ever woken up feeling rested. When you're dying of thirst and find the perfect water fountain and that water hits your throat like nothing else. Surprised water when you're thirsty wasn't the top comment. Actually had to scroll a bit. Water when you have a hangover. Especially when you wake up in the middle of the night with basically pain because of thirst and you get that full glass of water. Hey. When that kink you've had in your neck or back for days finally pops. Or when you crack your knuckles and each one pops at the same time. Edit. Why did this get 7K upvotes? Almost every night when I go to bed, laying there I breathe in my air-filled lungs pressed on my ribcage, cracking my sternum like a knuckle, in the absolute most pleasant way you could imagine. Puts me to sleep every time. When you can finally breathe out of both nostrils after a cold. Edit. Didn't say at the same time. Or when you still have a cold and you blow your nose and suddenly a massive load of gum comes out of fuck knows where. Get the loon booger. When it feels like you've pulled out part of your brain in the process. Oh god, that's the best feeling. Happens as well when you pulled out a coagulated blood booger after a nosebleed. That's when you are sure you pulled out part of your brain. This is what I came here for. I get nosebleeds every so often and pulling out that blood jelly is just satisfying. Edit. Y'all, I'm pretty sure this is now my highest rated comment. Thanks for all your help. Number blood jelly. My daughter gets fairly frequent nosebleeds. And afterwards she will sniff and hawk to get the clots out after. When she finally gets them, she goes, "Dad, come look, I got a clot. It's a good one," then proceeds to spit it into the sink. She's 6. YSSSS. Especially when you have a sinus infection, it's like that good toothache feeling. Like your nose is sore but a good sore after you clear all of that nastiness out, and you can breathe again for a while. I guess I've never had one of these good toothaches that you speak of. What is a good toothache? When a tooth is loose and you wiggle push it with your tongue and it aches, but in a weirdly good way. As someone with extremely bad asthma, being unable to breathe in general, and allergies to everything in the summer in my early childhood, plus nose complications from my birth and being sickly as a baby toddler, breathing out of both nostrils didn't happen for probably 12 to 13 years of my life, from early childhood up into my mid-teens. When I grew older and my asthma allergic reactions lessened, this was probably the most pleasurable thing I've ever experienced. Taking in a deep, double-nostriled breath was fucking incredible and felt life-altering. Looking back on it is crazy. Edit. It's kinda crazy and unfortunate how many people can relate to this high. To all the people who are still clogged up or gaining symptoms as you get older, have faith and I'm pulling for you. Sometimes the simplest things, like just breathing like a normal person, really are the most satisfying. You make me appreciate breathing through my nose. It really is something to appreciate, man. Being a mouth breather and feeling stuffy-nosed at all times for my entire youth was not fun at all. When your ears finally pop and your head clears after they have been backed up for a long time. I didn't think of this, but 100% yes. I've had a good amount of ear surgery, so with the scar tissue, my ears are not great at poppin'. Was flying for the first time in a while, and didn't prepare for popping them. So for like an hour my ears are in excruciating pain, like the worst I've ever experienced, more so than dental surgery. Anyway, I'm starting to freak out quietly, thinking my ears are gonna be fucked and that I might need to ask the attendant for help. Which would embarrass me on top of everything. I've tried everything suggested to get them to pop, even the multiple ways to pop your ears. finally, I hear a slow fart noise inside my head, and it was like the best feeling I've ever had. Instant relief, like a good fart, but a million times better. Now I pop my ears early, and keep doing it to ease it, haven't had any issues since. One time at the beach my ears has been backed up for I'm not sure how long since I've been in the water for some time. As we're walking back to the resort it suddenly popped and there was warm water drizzling out from my ears and I honestly think my life has peaked since. Yes. An ejaculation. Feels great on the cochlea. It's a good release for the hammer. I know exactly what you mean with the warm water feeling. One of the best feelings of relief ever. My family had a pool at the house we lived in when I was younger. I was a dumb kid and tried to get water in my ears just so I could feel that pop and the water run down. Meanwhile I got an ear infection from getting water in my ear and ended up needing reconstructive surgery on my eardrum. Sneezing after a big buildup. Orgasm is basically penis sneeze. Bless you. That's what the priest said. Getting that bit of water out of your ear after having it stuck in there for a while after swimming. OFR. I was on swim team when I was 13, and I'd get water in my ears every day. I got that nut added onto the other 10-20 nuts of an average 13-year-old boy. Good times, good times. Getting through a whole self-checkout without unexpected items in bagging area. Getting your head back scratched to completion. If you haven't struck bone, then you aren't done yet. If you stop when you hit bone, you're missing out on that sweet spinal cord scratch. Oh yes, my favorite. Finally figuring out a really tough problem. At my work it really pisses me off when I can't trace the root of a problem. It happens every now and then where some stuff in the database just goes wrong for what seems like no reason, usually some really dumb minor reason, one time because someone accidentally added a spacebar behind a tag. That feeling when I finally solve it and can lean back on my chair and not worry anymore is pure bliss. Yes, getting to the simplicity on the other side of complexity. Taking off your shoes and socks after a whole day of walking. Taking off your ski boots after a whole day of skiing. Yes, and taking your first steps in comfy shoes. They always feel like moccasins. It's winter and you're tired and you slide into your bed under your warm fluffy blanket and collapse into your burrow of pillows and then wake up naturally with the sun shining through the window and you don't have to do anything that day. Edit. I did not expect my Reddit to blow up from this. Thanks everyone for the comments, this made my day. Glad that people could relate to this. I need this feeling more in my life, God. Going toilet after having to hold it in for a long time. That takes the piss. But seriously, I agree. I once managed to be at a urinal and was pissing for an incredible amount of time. My friend finished his piss, washed and dried his hands and had to stand outside and wait a few minutes. I know that feeling all too well. I remember when Iron Man first released, I went to see it in cinemas and I drank a vast quantity of liquids and was busting to go for a piss for like 2-3 of the film. As soon as the credits appeared, I ran to the toilets and unleashed an ungodly amount of piss. 11 out of 10 best feeling of relief ever. I had a liter of Coke at the start of Return of the King. I think my eyeballs were yellow by the time the credits finally rolled. During Avengers Endgame very early on I wanted to go to pee. I knew it was a long movie so I wasn't going to hold it in for the entire movie. Made a quick run to the toilet and got back and was very confused by Fat Thor. There's an app called Run Pee that tells you the best time in a movie to run to the bathroom. I remember the day Endgame released, the Run Pee servers crashed and they had to release a pee time on their Twitter page while keeping it as absolutely vague as possible. When something you longed for across years finally happens. Bonus orgasm points if you weren't fully aware how much you wanted it. I'll take that one step further. Hearing "I want you" for the first time at the age of 27, and feeling an innate sense of self-worth for also the first time in your life. Orgasm doesn't describe it. It's beyond simple completion, it's like learning a whole new kink. But that's kind of heavy. Anyone of culture would know what I mean if I said, or should I say kink vegeta? Do you know whose planet you're on?